right, so this is page 10, corrections video for page 10, which was work that was assigned to you back last week on Wednesday, March 25th. All right, so you're going to start with number 1, state whether or not the ratios are equal. We've done this before, where you take your ratios and you put an equal sign in between them, and then you figure out if they are actually equal or not. So 4 times something is 8, 5 times something is 10. You need to figure out if the something is the same. So I know that 4 times 2 is 8, and 5 times 2 is 10. So those ratios are equal because, of course, the 2 is the same. And just keep in mind, if you prefer working with division, it works the same way. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. As long as the numbers that they're being manipulated by are the same, then you know your ratios are equal. All right, let's take a look at number 4. No, that's not. Let's take a look at number 5. Number 5, I have 3 over 9, and I need to find out, is it equal to 4 over 12? So, how do I turn 3 into 4 and 9 into 12? Well, this one's pretty easy. I can't. There is nothing I can times 3 by to turn it into 4, and there's nothing I can times 9 by to turn it into 12. Same goes with the division. There's nothing I can divide into 4 to make it a 3. And there's nothing I can divide into 12 to make it a 9. And so, this one is not equal. There's nothing equal about it. All right, so that's how you do those ones. From 1 to 9, you need to figure out if they're equal. If they are, you just leave them alone. If they're not, you put a slash through that equal sign. Let's take a look at number 10. So for number 10, you have to find the missing number. 1 over 4 equals something over 12. Now I know it's got commas in here, but because we're dealing with proportions and equivalent ratios, you should be using equal signs. So 1 over 4 equals something over 12. How do you turn 4 into 12? You look for that relationship. 4 times 3, or if you want to use division, 12 divided by 3, which means whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So whatever number you're using, whatever number you figured out, you got to use the same number to find the missing one. So 4 times 3 is 12, 1 times 3 is 3, and again, if you're working with division, same thing, 12 divided by 3 is 4, 3 divided by 3 is 1. So you know you're good. Let's also do number 18. Number 18, I have 18 over 36, which is going to equal something over 12. Now, whenever you're working with larger numbers that turn into smaller numbers, you know you're going to do division. So what you need to do is figure out, what do I divide into 36 to turn it into 12? Well, you know, if you look down your 12s, you find 36, and then you'll find, if you go to the side, the 3. 36 divided by 3 is 12. 12 times 3 is 36. So if you're going to divide by 3 on the bottom, you have to do the same to the top. 18 divided by 3 is 6. So 6 times 3 is 18. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 12 times 3 is 36. 36 divided by 3 is 12. So this is how you find your missing one. You can use multiplying or dividing. Just remember, when you're dividing, you're going from bigger to smaller, and when you're multiplying, you're going from smaller to bigger. Make sure you're using the right operation. All right, let's take a look at number 22. Number 22 is written in words, and you need to solve the proportion. Now, if it's easier, you can write it as a ratio, but either way, you're still dealing with the same numbers. So, 1 is to 3 as 4 is to something. So just like we did before, you're going to find the missing number by figuring out the relationship between the ones that you already know. If you find it easier, write it as a ratio. 1 to 3 equals 4 to something. If you prefer working with fractions, you can write it as a fraction. 1 over 3 equals 4 over something. However you want to do it, you can do it that way, as long as you find the missing number. So, 1 is to 3 is 4 is to something. Figure out the relationship between the 1 and the 4. That's the relationship you need to figure out. So you can work backwards, you can go with the division, how do you turn 4 into 1, or you can work forwards, how do you turn 1 into 4 by using multiplication. So 1 turned into 4, I have to times by 4. If I times the 1 by 4, I have to times the 3 by 4. So 1 times 4 is 4, 3 times 4 is 12. That's the end of your proportion. You've solved it. And as I say, you can write it any way you want to. This is written in words. 1 is to 3 as 4 is to 12. You can write it as a ratio if you find that easier. 1 is to 3 equals 4 to 12. Or you can write it as a fraction if you find that easier, since we have been working with fractions pretty much for all of February. 1 times 4 is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 over 3 equals 4 over 12. All right, let's take a look at number 27. Now for number 27, you are again working with words, but if you find it easier, you can write it as a ratio. So 1 hour is to $5, as 8 hours is to some kind of dollars. So 1 is to 5, as something is to, 8 hours is to something. So you can use the dollar signs if you want to, you don't have to. You have to figure out what is the relationship between the 1 and the 8. So 1 times something is 8, which we know 1 times 8 is 8. So it's going to be 5 times 8 to get you your missing amount of money. 1 times 8 is 8. 5 times 8 is 40. So 1 to $5, 8 hours to $40. So if you have any questions about this, of course, get in touch. Let me know, and I will help you answer any of these questions.